Okay, what if the ordinary world you know is really just a thin wall, and right behind it, hidden away, is a doorway that nobody was ever meant to find? We are diving straight into the ultimate thought experiment today in this explainer. Because if one hidden portal, just sitting there, buried under dust and silence, were actually discovered tomorrow, it would instantly and irrevocably change everything we think we know about reality, our history, and ourselves.
Just picture this for a second. You're walking through some forgotten, isolated place in the middle of nowhere. You're expecting the usual, right? Old ruins, broken walls, just the heavy quiet of a place completely left behind. But then, you notice something that literally shouldn't exist. A shape in the air, a shimmer in the darkness, a door with no frame, no handle, no key, and absolutely no explanation. Now at first, you'd probably laugh it off as a trick of the light. But then the air shifts. The hairs on your arms stand straight up. And this thing in front of you, it moves. Like it's breathing. Like it's been waiting there, just for you.
Section 1. The Impossible Discovery.
Now you might be thinking about how pretty much every civilization in human history has told stories about doors between worlds, right? Ancient passages beneath temples, glowing thresholds. But what if those weren't just myths? What if they were actually warnings? Imagine if generations before us stumbled across this exact same impossible truth, and they were so terrified that they just buried it under legends and religion and architecture. The real fear hits when you start asking the big questions. Who actually built it? Why on earth was it hidden? And what does it want from us now? Finding something like this proves, without a doubt, that our universe is not a closed loop. It has hidden corridors, and it absolutely does not obey the trusted laws of physics that we rely on every single day.
Section 2. A World Upside Down. The mere existence of this discovery would instantly turn humanity's greatest strength, our curiosity, into a highly dangerous force. Because the second we know there are places connected by rules we don't understand, the global scramble begins, and it would be chaos. Governments, they want control, obviously. Scientists desperately want proof. Soldiers want security. They're going to treat this as a massive strategic threat. Corporations will immediately see profit. And the general public? Millions are going to demand answers, while millions more will just want to run. Our world would literally turn upside down in an instant, with rumors spreading way faster than actual facts.
Because the very first thing everyone is going to ask is, where does it lead? Does it take us to unimaginable beauty, where skies glow in colors we don't even have names for? Or does it open up into a silent, broken, hungry place? Maybe it's an alternate dimension, or a timeline where humanity evolved into something else entirely. These are terrifying options, and they would haunt our dreams, making every cave, every old tunnel suddenly look incredibly suspicious.
Section 3. The Crisis of Reality. So as the news spreads, scientists naturally rush in, bringing every tool they have to measure the anomaly. We're talking electromagnetic field sensors, quantum fluctuation monitors, radiation detectors, you name it. But here is where objective truth just starts to break down into a terrifying paradox. Instrument 1 says yes, the portal is right there. Instrument 2 completely insists that nothing exists. A third one might spit out completely impossible readings. The portal isn't just bending space, it's bending the actual act of observation itself. The harder scientists look, the less stable the answers become.
And honestly, it gets even more unsettling when we realize it might not even exist in the same way for everyone looking at it. For you, it might be a glowing doorway. For someone else, just a crack in the air. Some might look at it and see only darkness. And the absolute most chilling possibility, some people might look in and see people on the other side, watching right back. The whole safety net of a single shared human reality completely crumbles when we can't even agree on what is sitting right in front of us.
Under that kind of pressure, society would violently fracture. You'd have believers seeking prophecy and hidden knowledge, maybe building cults or treating it like some massive religious earthquake. And on the flip side, skeptics and just ordinary people would be left totally unmoored, wondering if life was ever actually as solid as we were taught. Families would argue, experts would furiously debate on TV, and any trust in what we see with our own two eyes would just vanish completely.
Section 4. Stepping into the unknown.
But eventually, the debates have to end, right? Eventually, someone has to actually cross. Maybe it's a scientist with trembling hands, a soldier following orders, or just a brave civilian. Imagine that being broadcast live to billions of terrified people all around the globe. The countdown hangs in the air. It's just seconds, but I guarantee you it would feel like a lifetime. Then, the crossing itself.
A singular, history-defining moment where the camera image warps and the traveler just disappears. Followed by minutes of agonizing, heavy silence. And then, hours pass. The signal breaks, the portal remains open, and we are left with absolutely nothing.
The silence after a miracle is never empty. It is loaded. It's waiting for the truth to return. Just imagine the sheer global paralysis in that moment. Billions of people glued to their screens, entirely uncertain if the traveler is stranded, if they are dead, or if they are observing us from beyond, transformed into something else entirely.
Section 5. The Cost of Secrets.
But what if the traveler does come back? What happens then? Well, then we have to face the terrifying implications of what this portal actually demands from anyone who interacts with it. Because let's be real, every door that should never have been found always asks for something in return. It might not just be a door to another place. It could be a test, a filter, or a threshold specifically designed to separate the brave from the foolish, the chosen from the lost. It's a profound psychological filter just as much as it is a physical bridge.
And the personal toll of that crossing, it could be devastating. It might literally take your memories or cost you years of your life. It could completely rewrite your identity, leaving invisible marks that no medical scan can ever see. It plants unending questions in your mind that just grow larger every single day. The portal might not just move bodies, you know. It rewrites minds, leaving the traveler forever questioning if a part of them actually stayed behind in the dark.
So to put that into perspective, the true danger isn't even the destination, it's us. Look at it this way. If it leads to paradise, it instantly becomes a battlefield over who gets access. An advanced civilization, we wouldn't even know whether to kneel, trade, or flee for our lives. What if it's the past? Every timeline becomes unstable from just one careless act. And the future? Well, we might just see our own extinction staring back at us as a grim warning. No matter what actually lies beyond that threshold, humanity's inevitable, disastrous reaction is for sure the real threat.
Section 6. The Ultimate Human Test.
Zooming out to the macro-level impact on our global society, this discovery exposes just how incredibly fragile our world really is. Order collapses almost immediately when certainty disappears. Stock markets shake. Borders tighten up as nations fiercely compete for control. News channels are just going to play the exact same footage on repeat until the whole planet feels trapped in one singular moment. And honestly, perhaps most heartbreakingly, adults simply cannot answer their children's questions anymore. Our entire civilization would tilt on its axis.
We would be faced with a massive, defining choice that contrasts our most fundamental human instincts. Do we explore this with wisdom and truly seek understanding? Or do we rush in with greed, weaponize the discovery, and literally sacrifice each other just for access? How we react to this doorway defines our species far more than whatever is waiting for us on the other side.
Because, at the end of the day, a portal is not just a doorway. It is a mirror. It reflects our deepest, most burning desires to transcend the limits placed upon us, while simultaneously reflecting our deepest terrors. The fear that beyond those limits is something we simply cannot survive. It holds hope and terror in the exact same place.
Which leaves us with this final, impossible choice. If you stood in front of a secret portal right now, with the air humming around you and the darkness breathing, would you step through it? Or would you turn around and leave the door closed forever? Your answer to that reveals everything about who you are. Ponder that for a moment. And while you do, if you enjoyed diving into this explainer with me, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. The deeper we go into these mysteries, the more exciting the journey becomes. I'll see you next time.